All right, we're getting a live look at downtown Detroit right now. It's about 53 degrees. Let's bring in 4-1 meteorologist Kim Adams to talk about this drop in temperatures. You know, it is a drop, but it's still nice. It's gorgeous out there, a little crisp, but yeah.
That's what sunshine does.
Yeah.
And when you're driving in your car probably says it's in the 60s.
Exactly, a little bit warmer.
So then mentally you're like, that's so bad, it's in the 60s. If you are walking the dog tonight, though, it's nice and dry, but it gets chilly, especially around 7, 8 o'clock when we drop down into the low 50s, on our way to the upper 40s by 9 o'clock tonight. Winds have been about 15, maybe even 20 miles per hour at times, so that puts an added chill into the air. Speaking of chill, frost advisory goes into effect at midnight tonight until 9 a.m. tomorrow for any of the areas you see shaded here in blue. Parts of mid-Michigan under a freeze warning, but for us, it's just a frost advisory. It does not include Wayne and Monroe counties. That includes the city of Detroit, downriver areas down into Monroe. However, it doesn't mean that you might get a little area of patchy frost. And if you want to protect your flowers, if you've already planted them, or maybe they're in containers and they're easy to pull in, I would go ahead and do it, especially for the western part of Wayne County, because you're right on that border there. If you're in Northville, Plymouth, Canton, again, I would go ahead and take steps to protect them because they're really expensive and you don't want to lose them this early in the season. A frosty night ahead, 36 in Mount Clemens, upper 30s at City Airport. But even though temperatures are in the upper 30s in Pontiac and Metro, doesn't mean, again, we can't get some patchy frost. But when you get into Lapeer, Flint, Howell, and out into Ann Arbor, that's when you really get more of the heavier frost and more widespread frost. Mother's Day forecast looks very nice. In fact, we'll go above average with highs in the low to even mid 70s. Right now in Belleville, look at this pretty shot. Crystal blue skies. It's cooler than normal. We should be into the mid to upper 60s. We're only in the 50s. And in fact, Port Huron lagging behind at only 46 degrees. Across the area, 50 in Lapeer, 53 at Pontiac. The airport has stayed at 57. Haven't seen it go above that even in between hours, so that may be our high for the day. We might be able to squeeze out another degree or two, but it looks like we will not crack that 60-degree mark. It is colder by quite a bit in many areas. It's 20 degrees colder in Pontiac than it was 24 hours ago, 19 degrees colder in Mount Clemens, and in the city of Detroit, it's 23 degrees colder than it was just 24 hours ago. But now we're going to start moving in the opposite direction and start warming up. 50 in Alpena and Traverse City, 52 up in the Sioux. Looking ahead to the next 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 days, the Climate Prediction Center is not just putting us above average, but well above average. You can see the legend here, and we are into the well above average category and all the way through May 22nd. So after that frost tonight, hopefully you can start planting after Mother's Day. Showers and storms contained to our south. Precip chances, we've got a very slight chance on Saturday. I'll talk more about that coming up tonight at 5 and 6. Otherwise, looks like a nice dry stretch. If you're headed to the ball game tomorrow night, it's going to get cold by the end of the game with temps dropping down into the 50s. But we have seen really improving conditions here, even that Saturday little blip. We'll talk about it again at 5, but looks like it's going to be okay. So 39 degrees tonight, tomorrow 66. The future forecast calls for that slight chance Saturday afternoon, and then next week we're all the way into the upper 70s, and by 1 week from today, possibly even 80. Kim?
Okay, thanks, Kim.